Stephen Shields Radio Show.
Hi Nova, welcome to the Stephen Shields radio show. How are you? It was very good to catch up with you at Sexpo, it was.
Yeah, Stephen, it's so lovely to be on here. Thank you so much for inviting me on your show. Yes, we saw each other at Expo and we had briefly messaged before that, so it was good to actually connect in person and see each other.
And you're a content creator. How did you start creating content and what's been your journey?
My journey is an interesting, unique one. I think everyone's pathways into content creation is so fabulous. And mine started out of self-expression and self-interest. I've always been a very sexually open person. And so I was in a long-term relationship and I kind of wasn't getting what I needed from that partner. So I turned to posting pictures of myself online just for fun, just for my own femininity, for my sexuality, for my confidence. And well, from there, someone had offered me money to do a live webcam show with them. And that's nothing I'd ever done before. So I went ahead and did that. And it was fantastic. I think I got paid 50 USD in Amazon gift cards, and I just bought a whole bunch of junk. Um, but that was
Nice.
my first ever proceeds of sex work. And then from then, I became more open and curious about expressing myself in that sexual setting. I
Mm.
started pole dancing classes, connected with a beautiful group of women that were very sex positive. And from then, I became a dancer. I became further into content creation. I worked a few different sex work jobs. I think I've done almost everything at this point and have now solidly found myself in the online space in content creation and live streaming.
That's so cool that you've done that and good on you. Now, I think you're very talented, to be honest, and keep up the great work as well.
Thank you.
And I noticed too, like myself being a content creator, I started in the pandemic doing music and bit of animation. I'm more a fan of the sex industry as you call as they would call it.
Hmm.
Um
Yep.
no, but I enjoy content creation myself too. I write meditation tracks on Insight
Yep.
Timer. I've published them on YouTube as well. But other than that, besides content creation, you watch any sport, AFL, footy, or
I'm not a sports person. That is, I couldn't be further from it. People ask me all the time when I'm online, especially now during the Olympics. When I'm live streaming, I have people ask me, oh, look at Australia going, they're dominating in the pool. Australia did this. And, even car racing or motorbike racing, people
Hmm.
boxing, people say, oh, Australia's so good. I was like, I actually don't know any sports persons, but talk to me about dancers, burlesque performers, sex workers. That's my world. That's my sport for me. What sport is for some people, the sex work industry is for me.
That's so cool. No, I mean, look for myself. I go to the footy as well, and that's I go to the cricket in the summertime as well. So that's what I do. But yeah, I've noticed too on X, and this happens in music, people stealing people's work too as well. And how have you coped with that? And what action have you taken to try and stop it?
It's I mean, as a content creator yourself, anyone in the creative fields, any artists, anyone who produces their own product will know that people want to steal your intellectual property. They want to steal and claim ownership over things that you've created, but also sell things that you've made to benefit themselves, which is
Mhm.
such a shame. And especially for me, when it's my body, my product, my sexuality, my rawness that is being stolen and distributed for monetary gain that I don't see any benefit to. It happens a lot, and the saying is once it's on the internet, it's on there forever, which is true, and I understand that completely. But people profiting off my work, it hurts and it cuts so deep. So I spend money on a service that takes down my leaks, my stolen
Mm.
content, or alerts me to it so I can take direct action. So I use DMCA takedown services. I've tried a few. Some are better than others. At the moment, I'm using Realtor, which I found have been great, automatic at scanning the web and finding those leaks, find where people have taken my work and are now selling it to other people, which should not
Mm.
be happening. That's just crooks. That's just crook behavior.
Yeah, that's just quite slack, to be honest. Happens a
Mhm.
lot in music too, with piracy as well. And not only that, I mean, this is the problem as what you say, as you get more famous, then people want to know everything about you. I mean, I don't know, as I'm growing too, like, at times I need my own privacy. You just get people just, I don't know, people just become stupid out there.
People want to find out lots of things about me. And I'm one of those people that are very open about my life and I like to share the best parts of my life with people. But there's certainly things I don't want sharing that,
Mm,
if a fan recognizes me, but I'm at the doctor's clinic because I've got a cold or something, like it's just not the time. Or if I'm
mm,
somewhere with my spending time with my family or my nieces and nephews, it's just
mm,
that's not it. That's my personal time. The
mm.
people I'm with don't consent to be in the public eye. It's only me. So those are the times when that kind of bothers me.
So the second industry, is you doing any other projects in the future? You got any travel planned?
I always have lots of projects on the go. I have many
Hmm.
plates spinning. I feel like I'm a very busy woman, a driven woman, and always looking for the next thing to explore. So I do have travel plans coming up. I am going to Prague in September to learn more on the marketing side of the business,
Hmm.
and see what opportunities and pathways exist there for me for expanding beyond just me as a performer, what is possible to grow and further my reach. And then after that, I'll be heading off to Las Vegas in
Hmm.
January, stopping in LA to visit some friends who are also content creators and adult industry performers
Hmm.
for the AVN Awards, which is in Vegas every year.
Mm.
Very exciting time. I really enjoy it there and meeting everyone from across the world, especially the US performers and catching up with all my webcam co-performers.
See, but being, I remember the last expo, I think it was 2 years ago, was because I met Johnny Sins. He says, I
Yeah.
think it's sort of more harder for men to get into the industry than it is for women. Has it always been like that? The industry's favored women the more.
Straight men aren't watching porn for the most part for the other man.
Hmm.
Right. When
Hmm.
you head onto your favorite porn site, you're not subscribing to the male talent in the video, you're subscribing to the female talent
Hmm.
most of the time. Um, so of course it's going to be more difficult for male talent. I feel physiologically there's a lot more challenges on a male talent to
Hmm.
maintain an erection, to come on cue, to maintain that erection in a room full of people. But also
Hmm. Hmm.
sometimes you're shooting for 6, 7 hours. So to be able to have that stamina to maintain it for the entire scene, but also just do what's required of you for that work. It is also important to note there's a lot of people finding themselves wanting to enter the industry for reasons beyond being professional.
Hmm. Hmm.
So something that women in the industry and people that work with men or wish to work with men in the industry are very careful about because we don't want to put ourselves in a position of danger or in a position to be able to be exploited for
Hmm.
someone else's monetary gain.
Yeah, sadly that's been going on, and then yeah, you have to get the government to shut down websites, and there is dodgy companies out there too. So I do research on what's going on as well, and yeah, you always want to make sure you're comfortable with the people you work with too.
Absolutely.
Um, but music as well too. It's the same thing. But for me, I'm a fan of the adult industry. I think it's great, great entertainment. I actually like more the independent girls I saw at Sexpo more than the higher end, the higher classy. I think there's more talent in the independent scene. I mean, that's
Well,
my
they're completely
opinion.
different from a marketing perspective. Studio
Mm,
porn is very different to the independent creator. Independents own everything that they are creating.
mm,
But if you want to create studio porn, that's different. And one is not better than the other. That's going to be
mm,
completely subjective to the viewer. Um, as an independent creator, you are maintaining control and ownership of what you make, and you are controlling the distribution. But if you
mm,
don't wish to do that part of the business, then creating studio porn, which is not a reasonable pathway to take in Australia alone, because there's not the studios or the production here in this country, you do need to go
mm,
overseas if you wish to do that. So they're very different things. Saying that one is better than the other, I think they can't be compared. It's apples and oranges. They're
mm.
very different lines of work.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, the problem with Australia too, we don't have the industry resources. So yeah, a lot of talent do have to go to overseas, Europe and LA basically. But OnlyFans got very popular in the pandemic as well. I think there's another website is a competitor to OnlyFans as well. Um, yeah, but Nova, what's your future? What do you want to do in the industry in the next 5 to 10 years? Where do you see yourself going?
All secrets, industry secrets. If you say
Hmm.
it out loud, this is when you open yourself up
Mm,
to things going not how you imagine them to. But also, these are things that I'm working on behind the scenes. There's always meetings, there's always
mm,
trips of exploration to discover different parts and different talents that I hold
mm,
and where I can grow these and take these into the future. So there's definitely things always going on behind the scenes. I can't always talk about them
mm,
because they're collaborative efforts with other people, other companies and businesses. So
mm.
just keep in mind, yes, it's not just always me as the talent in front of the camera. There's business always going on.
Here's another. I was going to ask this question at the previous Expo, about working with people and yourself. Have you ever worked with people that were rude and nasty, and how did it make you feel? Because for me, I'm an empath person, so I can tell with first impressions.
Mhm.
If uh, say a lady is not nice, I can sort of feel it. What about yourself? How do you cope with personalities?
Yeah, yeah. As an independent creator, I'm very strict who I work with.
Mm,
I won't work with someone I haven't met before or can't get a reference from someone that has worked with them. So in that sense, I haven't found myself in many situations where the person I've been working with has been not nice, because they
hmm
wouldn't have gotten to the point of being in my inner circle and having the opportunity to work with me if they're not a nice person. And I'm someone who likes to network. I like to chat to people and meet them. So if I have an opportunity to go and meet a number of people, I will do that.
mm,
And from then, I will get to know them and decide whether that's someone I want to collaborate with and work with. Sure, there's been people who I've worked with, and then in the time afterwards, I have learned more about this person, or things from my experience match up with other people's experience. So I make the decision, I will choose not to work with that person again based
mm,
on my experience and the experience of others matching up. But there's never been anything horrible that's happened that's made me cut a scene short or end something early.
yeah, because you don't want that at all, especially in that
No, and I
field.
just wouldn't put myself in a position of danger or a position of being defamed.
Mm. No, but yeah, you've got to find out who the people you want to work with as well. But other than that, industry aside, are you practicing any spirituality, meditation, yoga? What do you like doing?
Yeah, I'm recently more practicing yoga each week now. That's something that's been always I've come back to. Um, Yoga is one of those activities and practices that can meet you where you are at. So if you leave it, you take time away from the practice. When you come back, it will reach you where you are. You don't need to be where you were
Mm,
when you left it. So I do that a few times a week with a few different teachers instructing, and I find it a beautiful practice. It's really grounding and centering for me.
Yeah, I first got introduced to yoga when I was studying my Bachelor of Music. I think where I was at the university, they offered some free yoga classes, so I thought I enjoyed it, and did it a fair bit in the pandemic as well.
Mm.
And my meditation practice has changed quite a fair bit too. Um, Probably the last year is when I wanted to write music for meditation practice. So that's been my journey as well. And quite enjoy video games too. So I do that, and yeah, I think just getting out in nature and
Spending time in nature is so important. Very, very
unplugging
grounding,
from the
centering,
world.
and wholesome.
Hmm. And I enjoy Formula One, so I keep up to date with what's going on in the Formula One. So I like car racing as well. But yeah, no, technology has definitely had a huge impact on the industry now. You look at creators, say, in the 90s or 80s when they had to send videotapes. Now, because of OnlyFans, I thought about creating OnlyFans, but I don't know what to do. That's more for the adult industry, or can musicians be on OnlyFans?
I do think there's people that are not in the adult industry. I don't subscribe to any OnlyFans myself. I spend
Mm,
enough time on them managing my own page. But I do believe there are people that are not in the adult industry that also have OnlyFans because it is a platform where a talent or a person can connect on a more exclusive level with their fan base. So a musician or a singer or an actor or a sports person might have an OnlyFans in a way of connecting with their fans beyond social media.
yeah. No, it's interesting. The industry's changed a lot too, because say 30 years ago, you needed to rely on production companies. Now anyone can start their own company with OnlyFans, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it certainly put the power back in the hands of the talent themselves to be able to produce and market their own content.
Hmm. How have you coped with marketing?
Yeah, marketing's something you certainly have to learn as you go, especially social media marketing, because the goalposts are always changing. When you look at something like Instagram or you look at X, algorithms change, ownerships change, the structure of the websites are always developing as time goes on. If you look at short form content, if you look at the introduction of TikTok, what people gravitate to is always changing. So keeping
Mm,
up with the trends in technology and keeping up with the changes in algorithms, let alone the terms of service changes that
mm,
make it more difficult for us as creators, especially in the adult industry, to know what it is to post. And it's
mm.
always playing this game of, is this going to go viral or am I going to be shadow banned? It's a fine
Yeah.
line.
That's the thing too with shadow banning and this cancel culture going on in music as well. See, look, for my approach with social media, I for a couple of years I had that dream of going viral, but now I sort of just want to enjoy my journey to the top. I see it as
Mm.
climbing a mountain. Have you been like that? Always you wanted it now?
No, I'm certainly not reaching for fame. That's not part of my journey. My goal for my career is to be a success is different for everyone. And for me, it
Mm,
means working independently, but having great connections and networks that I can draw knowledge from and find inspiration and continue to work with whichever pathway, whichever door I open and follow into my future. But success is also for me being able to take holidays when I want, being able to give back to my family, having secure housing, uh, pampering myself in whichever way I see fit. But for me, the important thing is financial security for my future, which this career has done for me so far.
Here's a question I want to ask for single men like myself, is there a possibility that single men can go into the adult industry and be successful in your opinion?
In what part of the industry and doing what?
Content creation, modeling, photo shoots.
Of course, but the bar is really high
Hmm.
for a single man or a man in a relationship. There is no difference between relationship status if someone's aspiring to enter the adult industry.
Hmm.
But the thing that's going to be the biggest barrier is your motive. What is your motive to joining the industry? Is it because you
Hmm.
want to have sex with beautiful women on camera? Or is it because you aspire to be a creator of unique content and film that
Hmm.
is of adult nature? So knowing that, but also presenting that as yourself is going to be one of those things that can make or break you, and having positive professional experience with an established creator is also
Hmm.
going to be very important. If you're not someone who's willing to go all in and make this your career, then that's where the challenge will be.
And that's good.
So it's
That's
definitely
good.
a possibility,
Hmm.
but the bar is high and the challenge factor is 10.
Man, that's good advice that you've given to the audience as well, and good on you for that. Um, yeah, because a lot of single blokes think, oh yeah, I can get in the industry, I'm gonna do all this, it's gonna be glamorous, but they really don't see what the hard work that goes in behind the scenes.
It's a lot of hard work. I'm spending 60, 70 hours a week on my business. I've had to hire a team of people to assist my business because it's not just about getting online. Think about everything a small business owner does,
Mm,
plus they are also the product. So there's a lot that goes into it, and it's not just the content creation itself. It's a production.
mm. No, I think you're doing very well, Nova, and I always wish you the best of success in whatever you do and where you go as well. And
Thank you.
yeah, but other than that, what are your interests outside of what you do? Like travel, we know you like traveling, video games, you play any video games?
Not a video gamer. I tend to be a bit of a homebody.
Hmm.
I spend a lot of time away or out or in front of the camera, being me. So when I'm off camera, I spend a lot of time not being very social or talking much. Um, so getting away, spending time at the beach, having quiet time, relaxation, and more introspective periods of my life when I'm not on the camera is what I enjoy doing. I like cooking. I like cooking class. I took a vegan cheese making class, which was quite fun. I like dance classes, my yoga, flexibility, burlesque. I like to go to burlesque shows. I also really like to go to the strip club to see the
Hey,
perform
awesome.
on stage. I'm into the strip club, so people take me there like we'll be besties. Yeah, that's the kind of things I enjoy, but a lot of the time I just enjoy having downtime.
Mm. Yeah, you
Really
got to have
value
that
that.
downtime, I guess. Like I said, for me, sport has become something that I go to the cricket in the summer, NRL, where I go watch the Canterbury Bulldogs play
Yeah.
as well. And I'm trying to look for some more concerts if there's any music concerts coming around Sydney as well. So that'll be good to just get out of the house. Go
Yeah.
bike riding as well. Yeah, downtime is very important, Nova.
Absolutely. You got to do what fills your soul, fills your cup.
Yeah, exactly. No, I really want to say thank you for coming on the show as well. It was amazing to talk to you. Um, and any talent that could be inspired by you, hopefully they are. And
Thank you. Thank you so much, Stephen.
anything you want to say before we finish up?
No, it's just such a pleasure to be invited to be on your show, and I know that you've asked me before, and I'm finally said yes, and here I am on here, and it's great to have met you at Sexpo and now be on your show. So thanks so much for having me on, Stephen.
Where can people find you on social media, Nova?
Absolutely. You can find me on novahawthorne.com if you're looking for my Instagram. It is nova_Hawthorne.
Hmm. No, it's awesome. Give Nova a follow, guys, and subscribe to her content as well. And yeah, always looking forward to what you got to
So much.
publish.